Greetings, Namo Buddhaya, module number 30. In this module, I shall be talking about the Mahabodhi temple. Visits to the Mahabodhi tree by the followers of the Buddha appear to have begun during the Buddha's own lifetime, alongside those who perhaps had been already visiting these sacred people to offer pindadan, that is oblations to ancestors. That the Mahabodhi tree had become an important landmark for the Buddhists during the lifetime of the Buddha himself is also indicated by the Burmese chronicles that credit the Buddha's contemporary king Pasenadi, Parsanjit in Sanskrit, of Koshal for having built a double wooden wall enclosure around the Mahabodhi tree as a mark of adulation. However, the predominantly Buddhist sacred scape surrounding the Mahabodhi tree appears to have begun to take firm roots from the period of Emperor Ashoka. During one of his pilgrimage trips, Dhamma Yatras, to the Mahabodhi around 259-58 BCE, he is said to have initiated an annual festival to be held in its honor and constructed a small Bodhi Ghar, a shrine, at the foot of the Mahabodhi tree with a railing encompassing the tree. Visiting this site about 900 years later, Xuanzang also credits King Ashoka for having built a small shrine at the site where he saw the towered Mahabodhi temple. If the Bharhut bas reliefs dated to the early Shunga period, that is about 185 to about 73 BCE, is taken to be a true portrayal of what was erected by Ashoka, then the original shrine was an open-air, two-storied pavilion supported by octagonal pillars with the Vajra Asana underneath. Some construction activity and consequent expansion of the Bodhi Ghar appears to have taken place during the Shunga period. This is alluded to in the small inscriptions of Lady Kurungi, Nagdevi and Srima written in Ashokan Brahmi script on a section of the stone railing datable to about 100 BCE. These inscriptions provide evidence of noble patronage, particularly by women of the ruling households. The Bodhi Ghar constructed by Ashoka appears to have been further expanded and renovated either during the reign of Kushan king Hovishka around 150 to 180 of the Common Era in the 2nd century of the Common Era, or perhaps soon thereafter. This is recorded not only in the Indo-Scythian and Gupta inscriptions, but is also testified by the pedestal of a Buddha statue found outside the southern gate of the Mahabodhi temple and inscribed with the date Vikram Samvat 64, that is 162 of the Common Era, as well as the discovery of a gold coin of King Hovishka along with 5 punch-marked coins amongst the relics deposited in front of the throne. A representation of a temple with a tower on a terracotta plaque excavated from Kumrahar near Patna and dated to 2nd, 3rd century of the Common Era by Sten Kono on the basis of a Khroshti inscription has sometimes been suggested to have been the prototype of the Mahabodhi temple. However, this version does not have the upper terrace with the towers and small temples in the four corners. Most dramatic change in the history of the Mahabodhi temple appears to have taken place during the Gupta period, that is from 319 to 570 of the Common Era, due to two important historical developments. One, establishment of an extraterritorial base by the Sri Lankans near the Mahabodhi tree, leading to their becoming major stakeholders in the Bodh Gaya sacred scape from now onwards. Two, the coming into vogue of towered brick temples in India. Consequently, the Mahabodhi temple in the form of a large and tall tower-like brick structure with an image of the Buddha of a proportionate size placed in a newly built throne in the Chela appears to have built encompassing or replacing most of the Bodhi Ghar. Rest of the vestiges of the old shrine that remained outside the temple, especially the Chankram and the Vajrasan, appear to have slowly got buried under the sand and silt deposited by Falgu river during inundation. When Beglar examined the temple in the year 1872, he found it to be substantially not different from the original temple. It may be said that outwardly the present structure has resulted from the repair and restoration extended over several centuries, including the transformation of the Bodhi Ghar into the present temple, rectangular in plan and with a tower topped by an amlik. However, inwardly, the thickening of the side walls and consequent narrowing of the sanctum has taken place due to the alterations and additions carried out since the building of the temple. It has been sometimes suggested that as no name of any ruler or feudatory appears in the inscriptions at Bodh Gaya after the year 64 of the Gupta era, the site of the Buddha's enlightenment was neglected by the ruling authority. Considering that there is ample evidence of continuing royal patronage of Hindu shrines in the district of Gaya. But this kind of criticism of the Gupta kings is unwarranted. Permission to the Sri Lankans for the construction of the Mahavihar monastery in the close proximity of the Mahabodhi tree was granted by the Guptas themselves. In fact, the Sri Lankans appear to have been granted an extraterritorial control over the shrine complex by Samudragupta. The Gupta kings and their local feudatories stayed away, it seems, to maintain non-interference in the supervision of a site managed by the monastics of a vassal state. For this reason, patronage to the Mahabodhi shrine appears to have come mostly from visiting pilgrims and missions sent by foreign rulers.